I can start this presentation in two ways. I can start it like number one. Sorry, I haven't really prepared. I've never done a PechaKucha before, and we're just going to kind of see how this goes, and I'm really sorry if I mess up, and just bear with me. Or I could start it like this. I'm telling you, this is the best presentation you're ever going to hear. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. You're going to just be mind blown at the end of this. It's going to be amazing, and you're going to go away so enlightened. Now, obviously, neither of those are great ways to start presentations. The name of this presentation is So You Think You're Pretty Great: Thoughts, Facts, and My Opinions on Confidence. So the first display was someone who would have started a presentation lacking some confidence. This is a feeling or consciousness of one's powers or reliance on one's circumstances. For example, Judy had perfect confidence in her ability to succeed, the quality or state of being certain. Now, this is something that I have been thinking a lot about lately, and how to build more confidence, how to grow more confidence as a person as it was, without making the mistake of overconfidence. Over-approximating one's capacity to perform and to pronounce words, under-approximating the capacity of an opponent to perform. An example of this is if you are about to run a race and you can think a couple different things. You can put it into different steps of confidence. You can be confident if you know that you've trained well for the race and that you've been conditioning. An example of overconfidence would be you're not conditioning yourself at all, you haven't trained, but yet you still think you can win that race. The next step in the road of confidence would have to be something called megalomania, grandiose delusions. This is a psychological disorder, and it's a delusion in which the afflicted person considers himself possessed of greatness. So in the race context, this would be you thinking that you're Usain Bolt and that you're going to take this by storm. Another type of overconfidence is the savior complex, also known as the messiah complex, where you think that you are destined to save everyone around you, your friends, your family, your sports, your teammates. You think that you only can bring your team to success. Sometimes I think we all have dreams like this where we are the hero of the situation. I think we can all agree to that. Now here's where confidence can get a little bit ugly, is with narcissism and narcissistic personality disorder. This is when you can really only gratify yourself from vanity or egotistical admiration of yourself. This, of course, comes from the Greek myth of Narcissus, who fell in love with his face when he saw it in a pool of water. Unfortunately, Facebook and other social platforms of the day help to enhance narcissism in our society, especially among young people, young females, since we are on social media the most, often have this problem since we are constantly posting pictures of our face. Twitter, this is where we post our opinions, and we have a small group of people. Usually we're friends with people who agree with us, and we tend to think that since everyone that we know is agreeing with us, that our opinion is truth, and that's just simply not the case all the time. And to think so is putting a little too much stock in yourself. So negative effects of social media, all of these different things can come out of it. It's a very dangerous and frightening thing sometimes. Schizophrenia addiction, I know that I have this sometimes. Just opening up my phone for no reason, OCD, opening it and just scrolling for no particular reason on my Facebook feed. Here's different signs of narcissism. You're only listening for things that you want to hear. You're being generous only for your own good. You think that the rules don't apply to you. You have an inflated view of yourself. You're easily angered by criticism. A good example of someone who was a well-known narcissist would be Adolf Hitler. He would be posting things on Facebook like this, if he had it. These terrible cat memes. He definitely thought that he knew how to run the world, and obviously he had a very messed up view of himself and his methodologies. Now, I was brought up in the 90s babies unite, and as you can see here, we have many participation trophies. I received several of these for playing soccer and not being very good at it in grade school. And this mindset where you think that everybody is great just for participating, it can lead to some dangerous things. There was a study in a classroom done recently where you had children taking a test, and some of them were praised for how smart they were, how inherently smart they were, and some children were praised for how hard they worked. Later on, it was found that the children who were praised for how hard they work did better in life than those who were just praised for their innate smartness, because the ones who said that you were so smart, they started working less hard. Now, in the workplace, there is something called the confidence gap. This was a study done by The Atlantic, the magazine, about why men and women differ in the workplace and how sometimes men are more confident to approach a job opportunity. Sometimes when men compliment women, and we accept it, it's not taken well. As you can see by this short conversation here, when a woman tries to be confident, sometimes it takes people by surprise. But there is great strength in confidence as long as we have the right kind. It says, confidence is not they will like me, confidence is we find if they don't. Confidence is being secure enough in yourself that no matter what happens, you know that you're going to be fine, you're going to move on, and you are going to accomplish whatever you set your mind to within boundaries, within reason, of course. One of my coworkers actually said this the other day. She was like, I realized that I sometimes say I'm sorry when I really should be saying thank you. This is a problem, especially with women. I do this myself, especially with other women. I'm finding if I ask someone to do me a favor, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry for making you do this. I'm sorry. But it's much better to just say thank you when someone does something nice for you. This is a picture of me, and just to example how we like to take pictures of ourselves. This is a picture of me traveling alone to Montreal. This was a big step for me. I did this earlier in the spring, just to kind of boost my own confidence to accomplish whatever I set my mind to and to explore new things. Thank you.